Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next Avatar news update video. This is just a quick update here on some action figure news. The first thing I'm going to go over is just some very basic sort of pre-order sort of information about the McFarlane Avatar line, as you can see here on screen. And then we also have an image, some images, some footage basically of the second best action Avatar figure, which is Book 3 Aang, which we knew about was a thing, but we get our first look in package and so on, so that's pretty fun. So yeah, a lot of people were wondering, like, okay, where can I actually pre-order these figures? They were like pretty much properly revealed last week. Where can I pre-order them from? I noted in the video, Todd McFarlane said that they're Walmart exclusive apparently in America, but as you can see here, this is amazon.co.uk. And you have the whole kind of lineup here of the figures. They do have Katara. I think you just have to search a little bit for them. I think the search is acting a little bit weird. But anyway, all the figures are here, and you can see they are available. If we just click into Aang here, available, dispatched and sold by Amazon. But you can pre-order it, free delivery for Prime members, but temporarily out of stock, which is different than just, placing a pre-order. Of course, a pre-order is temporarily out of stock. So I'm not sure how exactly this works, but my understanding of this is that these pre-orders have literally just gone up, because when I was placing my orders this morning, I had to order the full wave, like across 3 separate orders, because I searched first and it was just Katara and Appa that I could see. So I just placed that order. Then I refreshed again and these 3 popped up. I'm like, okay, I'll get them. But I didn't see the combo, and then when I placed that order, this came up, and then I ordered this. So it was like, okay, I guess that's what we're doing, and I'm hoping this works out. I have ordered a McFarlane figure from Amazon before. I got the Warhammer Space Marine figure in or around when it first came out, so that worked out fine. Arrived, and I'm guessing this is just kind of very early in the pre-order window for this. I'd be shocked if it actually sold out, or maybe the very early first batch sold out or whatever. But the fact that they do have it open, that you can still order them, suggests that, they're, I suppose, just gauging the stock levels or something like that. So they are available to order here. A lot of other places have them as well. It seems like, at least for like the UK and I suppose Europe, these figures are just available to order online. Sure, it likely means if you go into a store that is not a comic store, you're probably not going to find them, but you should be able to order these from pretty much most specialty stores that stock McFarlane toys. But Amazon, of course, is just a very easy way to do it. I haven't checked a lot of the other European stores in terms of like Amazon Germany, Amazon Netherlands, Amazon France, but I'm guessing they have their own ways of doing it, or like weirdly Amazon.com do, they allow you to sort of order these figures from the UK supplier basically. Because if we go over to Amazon.com, they have what effectively are the same listings up, because if we go into just Appa here, you'll note that what it says here is that, I have a fake sort of US address here just to kind of show you the idea here. So you can see pretty high shipping. Why is that? Because it's an import from the UK, because these are being sold on Amazon.com by Amazon Global Store UK. So I suppose this is just to make it clear that if you really want these figures, you can order them on Amazon.com. You just will be paying over the odds for it. And I'm guessing there will be some places in America that just do have put them up, like comic stores and stuff like that will have them available, or there'll be a place to get them that is a little bit cheaper than this. So it's an unusual situation in that arguably these figures are perhaps going to be a little bit more difficult to get for Americans than they will be for international fans. Yes, I mean, like I said earlier, international fans don't really have any access to go to your local toy store to get these, because McFarlane, as much as they're a bigger company than say Diamond Select, not a lot of normal toy stores that you go to actually stock McFarlane stuff. A few things every so often you see it, but I would not be expecting to go to my local Smiths which is the toy store here, and find these figures. If they do, I'll be pretty shocked and surprised, and it'll be cool, but I'm not expecting it. That's sort of the idea here. So I pretty much have resigned myself to the fact that I'm going to have to order them online. So, you know, that's why it was cool to see them go up in Amazon.co.uk. I hope this works out, and that there's no issue with them and the order gets cancelled. But like I said, I don't think these listings have been up on Amazon for that long. Like I said, explaining the way I ordered them. So I'm hoping this works out fine. Just so, I guess for people in the UK and I guess Europeans, this is an option for you to check Amazon. Unfortunately, it's not that great of an option for Americans, but of course you guys do have access to order from Walmart, though I believe they sold out straight away, but I guess they'll gradually add stock onto the website. Plus, you do have an opportunity to go to a Walmart store and get them. So that's that. Next, let's move on to loyal subjects, and you can see here a sneak peek of Aang Monk, which is what they're calling their Book 3 Aang figure. Now, we knew about this for a while. These listings, you probably saw my news video when I did this. This listing went up a while ago at this point. I think it might have been like 2 months or so ago. Avatar Last Airbender, Aang Monk, Best Action 5-inch figure, and you can see it had sort of some concept art style stuff, a kind of render of the figure and what you get. And that is exactly, basically, what we do get in the end. I think it's pretty much exactly everything you get, based on what we see. Now, the other thing we found out was that along with this, there is also going to be a Zuko 5-inch figure from Best Action and a Katara figure from Best Action, which they do confirm here for the first time officially outside of those listings, that, okay, this is the next figure, Aang from Book 3, and there's also going to be Katara and Zuko coming. So here you can see it is exactly that. It seems like you only get one airbending effect part, which I think makes sense. That seems to be the only difference from the render to this one, but everything else is fine. You still get the 3 faces, you still get the 6 extra hands, the glider staff, and an airbending effect part. And I think it looks really, really good. The Book 3 Aang design is much more suited to be an action figure than the Book 1 figure, because they had the images before this are the Book 1 figure, and I think they do a great job of making the outfit look very accurate, and overall they make it work, and I'm excited to get my copy of this figure. Again, I think for people in America it's much easier to get these figures. This seems to be one of the tougher ones to get because they're a smaller company over here, so I don't know when my figure is going to arrive, but I'm hoping it does, because I actually am very excited to see how these figures feel in hand. But you can see in some cases, like this picture, it looks absolutely fantastic, but in other pictures you can see how accurate they've gone for the outfit makes it feel like, oh, the materials are kind of like not working so well there, and it makes Aang look like he has no neck. And I noticed that in a few of the reviews for this figure as well, is that depending on your pose, that kind of section can really sort of just like stay up there, and is maybe not as flexible as you'd absolutely want. But it's got the articulation, it's got the detail, and I think it doesn't feel as sort of like it's struggling with the articulation as much as the Diamond Select toys are, and it has more articulation than, of course, the McFarlane toys. So it's at like a midway price point between Diamond Select and the McFarlane toys so far. We'll see when we get better pictures of the McFarlane 7-inch figures how they are. We're expecting a lot from them, but that is the situation. So this is the first figure which is out right now. You can get this, and then here is the upcoming one, the Best Action Aang Monk figure. So someone asked in the comments here, what month will be the release for Katara and Zuko, and they say October, which makes a lot of sense. But very quickly, you can see here the articulation is really, really nice on this, because you can see sort of just, you know, a standard figure here. You could see the full range of motion in that. Like, it does have the kind of butterfly joint, so you can do the shoulder motion like that, where like the shoulder kind of moves separate from the like the torso outwards, so you can bring the hands kind of together a little bit. That's pretty cool. You got the kind of shoulder cut up here for some rotation, double jointed elbows, very nice. Diamond Select do not have that. Wrists have kind of motion like that, as well as the swivel. I do wonder though, this is the problem with the Diamond Select figure, is that this part here, which you can see on this figure as well, is so rigid that effectively you don't get much articulation out of his left shoulder. And that's a little bit of a problem with the Diamond Select one, is that it has the articulation, but it's not particularly usable articulation. Now, what it looks like they've done here is that they've made sure that the yellow bit here doesn't come down as much as this one. So when you move the arm, I'm guessing that piece will just slightly rotate in and will allow for you to get most of the articulation that you want out of it. It probably will be slightly limited, but I don't think it will be limited as much as the Diamond Select figure. The same goes for, I think, this section down here, basically his right hip. This part is quite rigid, so you can't really use a lot of his right leg joints that much. So I'm interested to see how flexible they've made this section here, and especially like if there's any cuts in the side so that it can actually kind of move more nicely. But looks really good. But they also have video here as well. Let me just check, do I have my sound on here? Yeah, I will record the audio here, so you should be able to hear this.
Great detail, great skull detail, tons of articulation, butterfly joints, double joint in the elbow, double joint in the knee, Scott's kneecap, swivel joint on the thigh, swivel joint on the bicep. Just really a killer figure. And then he also comes with these great head portraits. You can switch on and off, and these great hand gestures. His bow staff. This is coming to Walmart. It's on its way, and I'm very excited about adding to our Avatar's legacy.
Okay, so there you can see it in more of a pose. So you can see that there's some motion going on with the arm here, the left shoulder, and the right leg. So it doesn't seem like it's super restricted by it, but obviously the idea is if you do a stronger pose, wider pose, is that gonna like move as nicely? It looks like it's moving well enough there, and that like the leg's not being forced back in by how rigid that piece is. So I'm guessing the best action material that they use here for the kind of clothing effects is nowhere near as rigid as it was on the Diamond Select one. So that looks pretty good. As far as the faces go, again with Aang, there's a weird selection of faces here. Let me just get to this section in the video here where we get a closer look at the face. This one here I actually think is pretty solid. It's just a sort of, it's a more neutral but slightly stern Aang, like a little bit like intense. So that's nice. It's not the big giant grin that a lot of people are making fun of with a lot of the Avatar figures. Is that there's no subtle Aang smile. It's always giant or slightly giant. It's just really weird. So let's get a better look at these other faces in just a second here. So yeah, there we go. This one, the eyes look pretty crazy. I gotta admit, it looks a little crazy with regards to. I think it's something about like the eyebrows seem a little bit sort of like off, that like one's lower than the other, and then his eyes are open like really wide for it being a rather neutral pose. So even though the smile is the subtle smile that we want, they sort of messed it up a little bit by having the big crazy eyes. Like just calm the facial sculpts down just a little bit with Aang. Let's have a bit more of a chill Aang. The angry face is actually quite good, I think, if you want to go for more of an aggressive face with Aang. In that, like, what I will say is that I'd say probably like this head sculpt on this Aang, the first Aang figure from Diamond Select, is probably the best Aang head sculpt we've seen so far, because it's just rather neutral in the grand scheme of things. It's just a little grin, and it's the one that feels the most like, okay, yeah, that's good. So there's that. I think the hand selection is basically the same as the other ones, just obviously different to account for the outfit, because I think the other hands have a part of his outfit on them. But then you can see the glider, really nicely done. That looks quite accurate, and the air effect part is it the same as on this one? Wait, do you even get an air effect part with this Aang? I'm not sure if you do. Okay, so you don't get an air effect part with the first Aang, but you do get Momo. So that makes sense. Okay, so that's pretty good. So I guess you could use the air effect part with the first Aang as well, and the effects are going to be pretty consistent. I'm very interested to see how they do Zuko and Katara, and which version of Zuko and Katara that they do, because I think they do a fantastic job at Book 1 Zuko with the full kind of Fire Nation armor. Because they tend to do the outfits a little bit more accurately. I'd be very intrigued to see how they do that. And then if they do Book 1 Katara, what will their attempt at her outfit be to make it sort of even more accurate, and like how will they do the hair? But I think everyone wants to see a Book 3 Katara, to see just the first one of them done. And then I wasn't particularly happy with the Diamond Select Book 3 Zuko, so I would like to see another Book 3 Zuko with the swords, actually give us the accessories this time. But yeah, it seems like we are just going from strength to strength with Avatar action figures. We went so long without them, and now we have 3 lines, and a lot of fans have basically just dismissed one of the lines, like a whole action figure line. Everyone's just kind of like, yeah, Diamond Select wasn't great, let's just ignore that, because we have probably, I think, the best looking ones so far are the best action figures, because they seem to have the articulation, the detail, and the sculpt down. McFarlane seems to have the price point and stuff, like, you know, they have Appa to go with it, and they look pretty good at a smaller scale, and they're going to be doing bigger figures that likely will threaten to be potentially the best that we've seen so far. But Best Action just look very strong so far. They just are a little slower with their releases, in terms of they really seem to only be doing it sort of 1 or 2 figures at a time, and that's a rather kind of slow pace, in that I think everyone wants to get to the likes of a Book 3 Katara, or where's the first Suki action figure, because everyone wants to see like a Kyoshi Warrior action figure. That would probably pave the way for a Kyoshi, which I think everyone would want to buy if they did a Kyoshi figure. Just this giant, tall action figure with the fans, the full outfit, all these accessories. That would be super, super cool. But yeah, that's the situation here. They're saying August is when this Book 3 Aang, or Aang Monk, will come out. Not sure why this is Aang Monk when this is like his sort of mixed outfit that is part Air Nomad, sort of part like a little bit Fire Nation going on. Whereas the Book 1 Aang design is more of the Monk design, because he's wearing the full-on Air Nomad outfit. But you know, it is what it is. So in the comments, let me know what your thoughts are. Definitely just put information in the comments about, you know, where you found the McFarlane toys available for pre-order, so you can help people from different regions find it out. Obviously, I don't know the location of every single viewer here, so that's why I went very general, of just like Amazon UK have them, so there's an option that's sort of like pretty much available for everyone if you're willing to pay for the shipping. And for Americans, it actually seems like that's probably going to be more of the tricky thing about where you find it to order. And then yeah, Best Action toys. Let me know if you got the first figure, how you feel about it, and how you feel about the upcoming wave, I guess. This Book 3 Aang, and it's going to be followed by a Katara and a Zuko. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. But that's been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.